I would like to say right off the bat that I am going to get GTA 6 regardless of what happens. However, what I'm about to say actually throws me into a pretty significantly scared mindset because I really don't want this game to be bad. But with how Rockstar has handled GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, it really does sketch me out and makes me think that there's a possibility that GTA 6 could go down the same direction that both of these games have gone down. And if it does, it's going to really disappoint me. So I wanted to kind of make this video to put the things that GTA 5 has done after its release out there so that you guys can kind of understand where GTA 6 might be going, and hopefully Rockstar can do something to prevent this from happening in the future. So the main thing about this video that I want to like seriously target is the things in GTA 5 online being so overwhelmingly expensive that it kind of forces you to spend money on shark cards unless you want to sit there for hours grinding. Now the thing about grinding is like it's not really necessarily a big deal if the game is genuinely fun, but the methods of grinding for money in GTA 5 ends up being seriously boring and repetitive, which just kind of takes away like the replayability aspect of the game. And the thing that makes it really bad is the fact that not only are you grinding, but as the game updates with these free updates, the stuff consistently gets more expensive and almost more useless. Like the yacht, it's a pretty fucking useless thing that they added to the game for millions and millions of dollars. But disregarding some of the useless items, at least for now, as the game continues to update, you're just going to be more and more behind, and all the things that you are given access to, you're going to have to grind for, and that really fucking sucks. The method that Rockstar took with GTA Online originally was an incredibly great idea. The fact that there is constant free updates and just immense amount of content added to the game, literally monthly, that is huge. It's what kept the game alive for so damn long. But the problem with that is, how are you going to pay the people that are working on the content that you are trying to add to the game? And since this stuff is free, there's no chance that they're going to be able to make any money unless they deploy some kind of method to get people to spend money on the video game, unless they want GTA 5 to just end up dying from the lack of revenue being pulled in order to update the game and keep it flowing. So the method that Rockstar took in order to do this was make everything incredibly fucking expensive to make the players, their consumers, their fans, inclined to purchase shark cards in order to get the items that are so incredibly expensive. So you're kind of left with two options when it comes down to GTA 5, and that is you can either sit there and grind heists, which I'll get into in a second, or you can buy shark cards and completely avoid the need for grinding anything. Now, originally in GTA 5, if you wanted something really expensive, like let's say you wanted the Entity, which was like a massively popular car when GTA Online originally came out, like fucking everybody wanted that car, either that or the Trafade Adder. That was kind of the big thing originally. It was like you kind of wanted those cars. Those were like the big cars, and then you never ended up using any of the older cars that you would originally purchase because that specific one that you were trying to grind for, the Adder or the Entity, would end up just kind of being your daily driver car, quote unquote, in the game. So it would never really give any reason to buy anything else if you had that. But besides the point, essentially that's how GTA Online originally was. It was you want to get a really fucking good car, so you grind for the really good car, and you're going to want a really nice apartment as well, so you would grind for the really nice apartment. And originally heists weren't in the game. But the thing about it was the stuff in the game wasn't so unbelievably expensive. So the grind, especially since GTA Online was relatively new, was not too big of a deal because people wanted to play the game regardless. Now, what made it really annoying was as updates continued with GTA, things started getting more and more expensive, and obviously more and more people would want the more expensive items. So people would continuously grind the best grindable missions, like the ones with the best payout, in order to get the most amount of money the quickest possible. But again, as updates came out and things got more and more expensive, it just became insanely fucking repetitive, and even I was getting like incredibly fucking burnt out doing the same damn missions over and over. GTA kind of combated this by adding heists at one point, which was fucking huge. It was like the one thing everybody was waiting for, and it was absolutely fantastic for a while. But they ended up going against this model by making everything even more expensive. It's such a weird method that they did to the game as I guess as a business model. So they gave players a really impressive manner of making money, one that actually was insanely fun to do at the time, and then gave you a fairly insane payout compared to everything else, especially the last heist that you would unlock as you did the heist before it. But again, this payout didn't really matter too much because all the things started getting way more expensive. again, all the stuff in the heist pack were already insanely expensive. Every single heist you would unlock like a car here or a truck here. You would get like a few extra things for doing that heist through completion, but the stuff was so expensive that it would kind of incline you to repeat the heist over and over, which again at the time was not too bad of a thing. But as time went on, stuff got so insanely fucking expensive that players in GTA Online would just continuously grind the hardest heist to do, the one with the best payout, in order to make the most amount of money to then buy the really fucking expensive things that were constantly increasing in price with new content updates. And what I mean by increasing in price, I don't mean like one car just got more expensive. I mean that they would add like a cool car and they would make it more expensive than the last one, so then people would continuously grind again the same heist over and over because that was the best way to go about it at the time in order to get the things that they wanted in the new content updates. So GTA ended up becoming this thing where it was like, if you don't do a heist, you're kind of just wasting your time. And like obviously you can argue that in any which way you want, but in reality, if you're looking for the best payout, you're just going to continuously grind the heists over and over and over in order to get the really expensive stuff because you'll end up getting it quicker. The problem is these heists take fucking hours. And I mean like the heists today too. They take fucking hours. And that's if like you don't fuck up, which you obviously are if it's like your first few times playing through. And on top of grinding for hours to get these heists done, what ends up happening is you're not going to get the full amount of money, obviously, because you and most likely 3 other people, because the heist is hard, especially if you're doing it on hard difficulty, which you're going to want to, especially if it's taking you hours to go through the heist to get the most money out of everything. But these 4 people that you're playing with, including yourself, the money is going to be split up between you guys. So you're actually not even going to get nearly the amount of money that the heist total actually is. So you end up getting a quarter of that, and a quarter of that at best. Like that's the worst part about it. The person who's hosting the heist has to pay for the heist setup and whatnot, which can be like a few $100,000. So of course these people are going to want their money back, so they're going to increase their cut for the heist over everybody else because they're the ones that put their money forward first, which makes sense. That's completely justifiable. But if you're with your friends and you guys decide to do a 25% cut each or a quarter cut each, you're only going to get a quarter, and again, at best, of the total payout. And right now, the most expensive heist that you can do gives you a total of $2.1 million, and that is the Diamond Casino heist. But again, there's the quarter that ends up getting taken out. That heist takes fucking hours, and again, quarter at best. Chances are, if you're playing with random people, you're only going to get like 10% of that, which is fucking garbage. And then on top of that, Lester takes like a $60,000 cut, which is really not that much, obviously, at all, but it's still something worth noting. So as of right now, if you wanted the most amount of money, it's about $500,000 if you do it with a group of 4 people. You can do it with 2 people, but it just makes it insanely fucking hard, and you have to be pretty good at it, which I recommend doing, honestly. I think you should do the Diamond Casino heist if you have the ability to, because you need to own a retro arcade, so you got to spend even more money to be able to access the most expensive heist. So you spend money in order to do the most expensive heist to get the best payout, which that's not necessarily a terrible thing, but it's strange because you're going to have to grind to get the money to buy the retro arcade to be able to unlock the ability to spend more money on a heist that's going to give you a lot of money, but then ends up getting cut way fucking down. And that's if you are the one doing the heist hosting, which chances are you might be. I mean, that really depends on the kind of player you are. But in reality, like, let's just say you're joining people. Let's say you don't have many friends on GTA Online. Chances are you're going to join a Diamond Casino heist because you're going to see the notification pop up on your screen, and you're going to end up getting like probably at best 10% because nobody knows who the fuck you are. So that just makes it even fucking harder, and it just makes the grind way more fucking awful. And I wanted to bring up the most expensive heist specifically, and I wanted a majority of this video to be about heists because they're the ones with the best payout, because it's the quickest way for you to get the most money in order to get the most expensive items in the game that are constantly being released through these content updates. Let's say that you wanted the best bunker, or let's say you wanted the best like penthouse or apartment or whatnot. It costs so much fucking money. It's literally millions upon millions of dollars, and it takes literally forever in order to get these kinds of items. And then not only that, but you're going to want to get the expensive cars and the expensive weapons and upgrade all your weapons to like the Mark II variations and stuff. It ends up costing so much fucking money that it makes players continuously grind the same heist over and over and over in order to obtain the most amount of money to then do these kinds of things that are being released in the content update. And the reason why this is all relevant is because nobody wants to do the same fucking grind over and over and over. There's only like a small amount of people that are disciplined enough in order to do that kind of thing in order to get what they want. And even then, you can still get burnt out. There's a huge possibility of that. So what happens is Rockstar ends up putting in this overwhelming inclination, I guess, for lack of a better term, to purchase shark cards in order to completely avoid the grind. It is a really appealing thing to do. It's really nice to be able to be like, oh, I could sit here and get this $1 million apartment from grinding for like 10 hours the whole day. And that's if you're like really, really good at the Diamond Casino Heist or something like that. And then finally get what I want after all that playing of this same video game over and over and over. And, a lot of us don't really have that kind of time. I mean, if you do like that kind of grind, then props to you. If you stream and you like that kind of grind, then you're using it in a very, very smart way. If you're a teenager and you have that kind of time on your hands, then you can go for it. But regardless, you're still going to have this overwhelming feeling of maybe I should just buy a shark card and completely avoid all of these hours of grinding and putting in all this effort. So it really does make players inclined to purchase these things, and that's where Rockstar makes a lot of their money. And that's what I think is really, really scummy about this entire thing. I don't like how you feel inclined to constantly spend money on this game, but it makes sense in hindsight because these people need to make money somehow. The reason why this scares me so much is because if GTA 5 is doing this, then I'm assuming GTA 6 might be going down the same route. I'm not trying to feel inclined to spend money because I want to avoid a grind literally whenever I just want to play Grand Theft Auto, or whenever I want to take advantage of a new update that comes to the game every once in a while. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. I mean, I don't want to play a game to grind. I want to play a game to have fun. I would rather play a game to have fun with my friends, not be like, oh, I want this car, but I have to sit here and play the same video game, probably the same heist, for hours upon hours upon hours in order to obtain one singular thing, one singular expensive thing in a video game that contains so many fucking expensive items and houses and whatever the fuck. And the thing that makes it really scary on top of that is not only is GTA at fault for this kind of thing, but Red Dead Redemption is also at fault for this because a year ago, Rockstar ended up slashing prices of the stuff you hunt for over in Red Dead 2, which ended up screwing a lot of people over who were trying to make money in the game. And what it led to was making the players buy gold in order to get the things that they want. A huge portion of Red Dead 2 ended up getting completely smacked in the face by Rockstar because they wanted people to make less money and they wanted everything to go a lot slower for other people so that they end up investing in gold in the game in this case in order to get the items that they want. And it sucks. It's the same exact fate that GTA ended up having, except it was in a reverse, which was super, super strange. Instead of making everything more expensive, they ended up making things less expensive selling wise in order to incline people to spend money on the game. And it sucks. It really does. I want GTA 6 to be fucking great. I have high hopes for the game already because the single player for GTA 5 was fan-fucking-tastic. It's like one of the best campaigns, at least in my opinion, of all time. I really, really liked it. I know a lot of people make the argument that it's very, very linear and it doesn't give you a lot of freedom like Red Dead 2's campaign was. However, that doesn't mean the game is going to be bad as a whole. I really think that the game is going to be great. I'm just scared that the online for GTA 6 is going to go down the same fucking route that GTA 5 has gone down. Because the last thing I want is a brand new AAA video game from a company such as Rockstar to suffer the same fate that they've already caused 2 games to suffer. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys feel the same way. If you like the grind, that's completely fine. I'm not going to bash on you for liking something in a video game that I necessarily don't like. That would just make no fucking sense. Obviously, we're going to disagree on so many different things. We're not always going to agree on the same things every time I make a video. So again, if you like that kind of thing that GTA 5 is doing, then dude, hats off to you. Go do whatever you want. Go grind. Go do what makes you happy. I'm not going to sit here and bash you for it, but I am going to voice my opinion on this because in my opinion, I think it's pretty scummy. And I don't like the fact that it seems like I have to spend money on shark cards in order to avoid something in a game that I should thoroughly enjoy. These heists end up becoming so repetitive and so boring to play over and over and over and stressful sometimes that it makes you not want to play GTA anymore because the first thing that's going to come to your mind is, fuck, I have to grind for literally everything. So overall, I really hope GTA 6 doesn't suffer the same fate. I really hope that Rockstar is able to come up with some way for their studio to make money to supply free updates, but avoid the same situation that they had pulled on GTA 5. It's going to be tricky to try and get this right, and I would imagine that Rockstar is going to have a tough time if they want to avoid this kind of issue, but if they can, that's going to be absolutely fucking fantastic, and I really, really can't wait to see if they have something coming for GTA 6 that avoids this issue altogether. But with that being said, guys, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked it, then dislike it. If you did like it, however, why not subscribe? It helps me out and lets me know that what I'm doing is sick and what you guys want to see. Comment below whether or not you agree or disagree with what I'm saying, or maybe just give your thoughts on the entire situation. I love to respond to you guys and get closer with my viewers. So again, comment below whether or not you agree or disagree. And overall, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you later.